I've done 60 in-ring interviews, and a lot of people ask me what inspired you to do that, because I only had like 10 pro fights, and they ask me, I always get asked, what was my favorite in-ring? And a lot of people think it's going to be, you know, Floyd or Manny or Tyson or Hope, but it was actually Bernard Hopkins when we did the in-ring, and he let me share the ring with him for a few moments, and it was so interesting when Bernard, because he usually doesn't let his guard down, but he did, and he explained to me all the various tactics that he used. And he made me bring out my limited, very limited acting skills when we talked about the De La Hoya knockdown. He not only had demonstrated it to me, he made me go to the ground and do whatever Oscar did, so you put me to work. But my favorite of all in-rings was with Bernard Hopkins. What did you do best inside the squared circle that made you a Hall of Famer?
Outthink my opponent. I learned boxing mental a long time ago. And you can get yourself in shape. You can say a lot of things, do press conference, do, you know, whatever it takes to keep your confidence up. But I deal with the mental. Fighters, majority of them, no fault to them, they haven't learned. Maybe they learn when they listen, or they learn when they listen. They look at you when we do the stare down. I've conditioned myself to look through my opponent, and they see it. And a lot of guys I fought, Hall of Famers, and we're not talking about somebody being scared or afraid. They seen something different. And that different was, along with my talent, was the factor. Anybody that knows Bernard Hopkins, and I believe Doug Fisher could say he's one of those people who followed me and who understood whether we agreed to disagree. And we disagreed a lot of times.
Yep.
A lot of times the fight is won before the physical take place, but I'm no fool. The mental is won. The partnership is to get in shape and train physically, just in case he has other ideas. That's what I use, not only in boxing. I learned to use it in business. I learned to use it in my lifestyle and who I deal with and tolerate. So I got two scenarios. I deal with people and I tolerate myself. And so I use that to be able to stay function myself. And all that has to do with, it's all up here. Not just sports. Any young person, middle-aged person, or damn old person, this is so strong, you gotta keep it intact. My biggest weapon in boxing, believe it or not, you wrote about it a lot, Doug, did he get to him mentally? I had reporters saying he got to him mentally.
He got to us mentally.
They didn't look, well, that was the strategy.
Yeah.
They didn't look at actually the work, but the work is the work. But it starts here first. And I know I'm being repeated, but I can't talk enough about it, but that is, I can talk all day about it, but this is very strong. And listen, I would never be on this stage right now if I didn't have that mental strength that I was born with and I found it. I just wanted to stay out of the penitentiary. I didn't want to be famous, I just wanted to be rich and stay out of the penitentiary. Well, I stayed out for almost 30 years and made a life for myself and a legacy. I think that it should tell anybody that's out here, no matter where you at around the world, no matter who want to read this and see this through social media. I'm a prime example that I don't care how bad things is. I don't care if it's cancer, I don't care if it's this, that. I don't care what it is. At the end of the day, as long as you can wake up tomorrow, as long as you can breathe, walk, as long as you can crawl, as long as you can do what you gotta do, damn it, do it. Because it ain't over till it's over. Fat thing you gotta say.
Thank you both.
Let's get Doug is here. Doug is here, everybody. You're allowed to talk.
This is a great honor for me, for probably most of us boxing fans here. Seeing you on Fox Sports back in the day, calling some fights with Sean McGrady. Pleasure meeting yesterday. Question for both of you, if you don't mind. Doug, all your years in boxing, commentating, research, everything, right? Who do you think out of all these years has been the best pure boxer, best pure puncher that you've seen throughout the time? And then to B-Hop or Haymon and the executioner, just to kind of talk on your current status, you know, where you are, what do you think the biggest issue is making cross-promotional fights sell? I know there's a lot, you know, fights are starting to happen, unification fights are starting to happen. What do you think as a promoter is the biggest hang-up of making, you know, a Golden Boy fight, you know, Top Rank or Bella fighting, you know, PBC or, you know, the numerous entities out there? What do you think the biggest hang-up is with that?
Since I did the first talk, I'm talking about, let Doug go first and then I come up.
When you say the best pure boxer and the best pure puncher, are you talking about that I've witnessed live, or are you talking about of all time? Ray Robinson. Yeah, both. Best pure boxer, best pure puncher.
To answer your question, and this is the one I've spoken about many times because I've been answering that question in the last year or less. Fighters. At one time I said we, but fighters, Doug, everybody on the stage and everybody here, listen, this is very important because there's fighters in this audience. I get a lot of calls from fighters that's not even promoted by Golden Boy. And I gotta be very careful of a conflict of interest or torture of interference, excuse me, both. Been around lawyers a couple times. Fighters are starting now to understand and realize their value not only to who they are when they go in that ring, but who they are to make decisions based and predicated on their damn life. So they are starting to make these fights right now. It ain't the promoters. I can run off a lot of names, but I'm not going to do that. And the reason that the younger ones, we ain't talking about fighters on their way out. We're talking about the young fighters in just about every hot weight class that exists. We're going to start from the 139, the 40, the 47, the 50, the 60 pounder, and we can go up too. But I'm going to stop where the heat is at. Y'all know where the heat division is at right now because of the names. They are starting to say, no, I'm going over here across the street. You're going to have to talk to this man across the street. The game is over now where 1 or 2 or 3 promoters or advisors, whatever they hide themselves like cronies underneath, doesn't make a difference. They are starting to do what now? The fighters. To understand that they got a small window, even though it's 10 years if they're lucky. Don't look to get 30 like I did. That's an unusual situation. But let me tell you something. The worst sin, I believe, one of the worst sins you can have is knowledge and don't give it. And take it to your grave. I'm going to give it to them. I can't help myself. I like talking. And listen, I'm not apologetic about anything. The question you asked was very important because that's why you're seeing these fights happening, because fighters understand that, yeah, I got a belt. But it's 3 other people, good or bad for boxing, that's another debate. I want to be undisputed. Why you think that you see it undisputed being thrown around and vices being realistically made, not talked about? I'm glad that I can say I started that trend. That's the game changer. Fighters understanding to be in the Hall of Fame, you don't necessarily have to be undisputed, but it damn sure helps.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.